Stop it. Just stop using sum. Well, not really. But there are tons of examples where subtotal will do a lot more for you than sum. For instance, subtotal doesn't just rely on adding numbers. You can use a number of different aggregations like average, min, max, you name it. And if you use sum often enough, you know that when it comes time to filter or hide rows, your calculations just aren't going to update the way you want them to. So while it's a simple function to master, it's also one that should never be ignored. So let's take a look. Today I'm going to play the part of a helpful analyst within the school district. I've been given Miss Walters' grade supply list, so we've got a bunch of items that she purchased, and we just want to make some basic calculations so that we can reimburse her for her expenses. So we got our cost per item, we have our total cost, dates that they were purchased, and what the items are. Down here we have a sum cell and a subtotal cell, so that way we can see the differences between each function. So simple enough, let's go ahead and calculate the sum of the total cost. We'll do equals sum, select our range, close it out and hit enter. Now for subtotal, it's pretty similar. The only difference is that we include a function number to specify what sort of function we want a subtotal on. Now the standard is normally a sum function, but you have other options like averages, min, max, standard deviation, and a few others. But let's go ahead and enter the formula, which is just equals subtotal. And you can see here we have our list of functions that we can choose. Now you don't have to write out the function, you just have to select the number representing that function. Like I said, you have average, count, count A, and it goes all the way down to 11. Now it does continue, and it looks like it repeats itself, but there is a reason between an average at level 1 and an average at level 101. And we'll go over that in just a second. But for now, let's choose the standard, which is number 9, which is our sum. Go ahead and enter 9, comma, and your next arguments are your references. Now, in this scenario, we're just going to use one reference, which is our total cost column. But if you were working with multiple tables or multiple columns that you wanted to total, you would just enter a comma and then select that next range. And when you're done, close out the parentheses and hit enter. And surprise, surprise, they are the same. Here's the difference and the benefit of subtotal. Let's say we just wanted to look at the purchases that Miss Walters made in August. If I come up here, filter out September, hit OK. Now you can see that the sum did not change, so it's still calculating all of her expenses. But the subtotal is only adding up what we currently see in our view. So that comes to $596.06. And right off the bat, I think you could see the clear benefit of using subtotal. But why stop there? Go ahead and try out another function. So instead of 9, let's go ahead and try the average. Hit enter. We can see that the average is $43.57 out of the total cost. Again, we can filter down. Let's say we just want to look at units of measure equaling a box. And our average subtotal is $59.90 for just the boxes. Let's clear that out. Let's go ahead and change this back to sum with number 9. And I want to show you the difference here. If we go back into our formula, we get rid of that 9, scroll down here, we can see 109 is the alternative for sum. Now the benefit of using 109 versus 9 is that you can account for hidden rows. Now hidden rows are different than filtered rows. If we're filtering rows, subtotal will automatically calculate the differences when those rows cannot be seen. But if you simply hide a row, you have to use the 109 if you want your subtotal to be accurate. So for instance, we'll go ahead, we'll put the 9 back in for now. And let's say the pocket folders and the highlighters are not being included because those were covered by a grant sent to the school. So we don't need to calculate those. But instead of filtering those, let's just go ahead and hide them. Now you see the subtotal did not change. It still matches the sum. But if we go back into the formula and enter 109, hit enter, it's updated the calculation to give you the accurate result. Same thing if we change this to 102 for the count, we've got 13. Now obviously it's not $13, it's counting 13 individual rows with values in them. We go ahead and unhide those cells or those rows. You can see it's a total of 16. So you do have some optionality in here because not everyone will use a filter. I've gotten tons of files where someone just simply hid rows from view. And if you're not getting the calculation you expected, that's one thing you do want to check. Now, I've had a lot of questions about using the subtotal feature with an if statement, and that is something that you can do. Let's say we want to use a subtotal function to perform a calculation, but we want to use the if statement to apply a condition to our subtotal and output something separate. Let's go ahead and change our 102 back to an average. So I'll go ahead and enter 1. In the front here, we'll go ahead and enter the beginning of our if function. Wrap that subtotal with a parentheses. And what we want to say is if the subtotal average is greater than $45, we want to return over budget. If it's not greater than 45, let's congratulate our teacher. Close out that last parentheses and hit enter. Now it's saying that we stayed under budget, but let's actually see what that average is. Obviously, we could go ahead and highlight these and you'll see in the bottom corner here what the average was, $43.57. But just for this example, let's go ahead and re-enter an average formula using our subtotal. Select 1, copy our range, there you go. So $43.57, if we round up, was the average, so great job. However, what if we went ahead and looked at our cost per item and for whatever reason, we decided to filter out, let's say, the 4th lowest cost items, and now we are over budget. So that's just one example of using an if formula with subtotal. Now, depending on the complexity of what you're trying to do, you may want to look at an alternative like sum product or sum if, sum ifs, but that'll all be dependent on your scenario. And there you have it. If it wasn't clear before, I hope you can see the benefit that subtotal offers you, especially over a function like sum. Now, there's a lot more you can do with this function that I haven't even gone into, so I recommend opening up your own data set, playing around, and seeing what sort of aggregations you can come up with on your own. Until next time, data people, thanks for watching.